Hi, welcome. So I've got one of the most favorite things that people like to see, and that's my spray box. And I've got a couple of doilies in here that I just sprayed with tumbled glass, and that's a Tim Holtz Distress stain. And then this is Vintage Photo. We've all heard of that. And I'm just giving these a little spray. There's some doilies that I would like to have not so white. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to put just a couple more right on top. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to work on some, I call them master boards, like collage boards, and you use them to cut out. I have a couple of, what do you call them? Swaps. Ha! Oh, I'm telling you, sometimes my words just don't come. This is, I'll show you in just a sec. I'm just adding some drips. This is Botanical Stains by Cosmic Shimmer. There's no shimmer in this though. And this one is Tea Leaf. So it's just another kind of a watercolor type ink. These are all water based, but they're also like water reactive. So you will definitely move them around once they're dry if you get them wet again, but that's fine. So I've got myself in a couple of swaps. I'm going to set these aside to dry quick. So I'm going to be making some items for a swap. I'm just setting these doilies to dry because I'd like to use them with you today. Okay, I'm putting that box underneath and I'm gonna dry my hands, and here we go. All right, so what I have here is a 12 by 12 pad, and I picked out two. We'll do one and then maybe we can get the other one, but I've got this to use as the back, but these are with only one side is printed. So I'm just going to set one aside and we'll be working on this one. So this will be the back of our project and this will be the front. And then this is the paper pad now. My sister had this for a few years and then she gave it to me and I've had it for a few years, but people always want to know, and it was purchased on clearance. It's called Tatter Time Stack by DCWV. So can you find it anymore? I kind of doubt it, but never say never. You never know. So I'm going to go ahead, and this has no orientation. It doesn't matter which way we put it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get one done, hopefully, and then we can work together on another one. So I've got some book page and some, I'll show you. I've got book page. I've got, and this is my, it's a analytics kind of a book. I've got the old recipe book that was from a church that I found at a thrift store. So dictionary page, we're all set. And I just went ahead, oh, there you go. The philosophy of indexing. Isn't that thrilling? But the reason why I pick it is it's pretty rare that you'd have bad words in it. So I'm just going to get started and get this filled out with some pieces that I think will make a good background. So let's get the glue book out. Now, before I came in here to join you, and if this is your first time, welcome. I'm Julie Torrance. And if you're returning, welcome back. But I'm in a swap. As a matter of fact, I'm in more than one. And so what we do is there's guidelines. I wouldn't call them rules, but they're guidelines. And so one of mine is a topic that you pick yourself. I'm going to put this right here because it's a nice straight corner. And I'm not going to be folding these over the edge. So if anything shows on the edge, I'm just going to cut it off, trim it off. So anyway, I am in this swap, and one of them is is like your own topic, your own theme, and it's a bookmarks. And the other one that I'm in is again, open theme, and it's artist trading cards. So why do I do these swaps? Well, a couple of reasons, but the biggest one is I love getting art from other places, either in the United States or in the world. And you get to choose if if there's a country that you'd prefer, that you'd rather not mail overseas, whatever overseas is for you, or you can just say anywhere. And when you're doing, for me anyway, when I'm trying to mail artist trading cards or bookmarks, the postage is very, very small, and I've never had issues with customs. I don't know if it's because I really don't put a value on these. If they ask, I usually tell them it's a gift, which it is. I mean, they don't really have a category of swap. So, I'm not trying to fool anyone or cheat anyone, but I just don't think someone should pay tax over a repurpose, reuse, put together artist trading card. You know what I mean? I mean, why? That would just be silly. So I am trying to keep everything either horizontal, this is horizontal, or vertical. I tend not to put things on an angle, but you do what works best for you. And I see artists that put a lot of stuff on an angle, and I think their work is stunning. So it's one of those things that's out of my comfort zone. Maybe I should get in a swap where everything's got to be on a diagonal. If there's ever been a swap like that, I'm not aware of it, but you know what I mean? Just anytime. And I do pick up on swaps and things that aren't exactly in my comfort zone. Maybe it has to do with colors. Maybe it has to do with a holiday I've never heard of. Maybe it's a topic that just isn't one that's applicable to me anymore, like back to school. Well, my son is 35 years old. So back to school type of things, it's not like the type of advertising that comes to my house, and you know what I mean. So it's just not the upfront of my mind, but it doesn't mean I don't understand it, and I certainly could try. Well, this has some big writing on it. That's okay. That's fine. It's probably going to be covered up. I don't know. Not hoping that it gets covered up. I really don't mind it. All right, let's get some more of this dictionary page. When I have nice straight edges, I do tend to put them on the edges. So if you think I'm not trying to be random, it's not that. It's just that if I can avoid cutting off the edges, that's good. But if I need to, I need to. It's not something I sweat. All right, let's get some of this from the cookbook. And these are in thrift stores. I see them often. And what they are, and you may not recognize them if you're just looking at spines, because they're often in a spiral. So the spine is just those curly things. But what it is churches, the ladies in a church group, or men, they get together and they get some of their favorite family recipes and they put them all together. And back in the day, someone volunteered, or maybe it was the church secretary, typed them all up. And that's what this one is. This one's been typed. And then you had a publishing company, and it was like self-published. And then they were sold for just pretty much, well, they could be a fundraiser, but my experience has been they were sold for pretty much what it cost for the making of them, as far as the publishing and the shipping back to the church. And then you had a nice organized book of things that were people's favorite recipes. It was nice. But you can look at the dates, and many of these fall under either fair use or public domain because they're so old. So you can just check in the front how old this one, I believe, is from in the 1940s. You can check and see how old it is and go ahead and use it. Now, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking these recipes and copy them on and sell them on Pinterest or something. I mean, that just doesn't seem ethical to me in any direction. But if you're thinking of doing something like that, look up the rules, because I'm not really sure what the rules would be on doing something like that. I have been studying up more on copyright and fair use and public domain and licensing of things. And the reason why is I've been looking in the United States Library of Congress, because they have a huge number of forms and documents that are over 100 years old that they've scanned and they are public domain. Now, my situation is that all the ones I found are JPEG, which is the format that they've been uploaded. And the problem with that is that's not always the best quality for reproduction. I prefer PDF. Now, I don't even own a printer, but I don't hesitate to take files that either I've purchased or that I've got from public domain, and then just uploading them to my phone, and I can email them, or I can upload them on my computer, email them to myself, and then I can take them on my phone and I can take them to a print place and get them printed up. I haven't done it yet, but I've read about it, and it is something that I can certainly do. So, and I think I will, not today or tomorrow, but you can get these 100-year-old letters that sometimes they're written by a historic figure that you've heard of, and sometimes they're not. And they're written with like dip pens, and you can see the age and the irregularity of the writing just because of the pen they were using. I mean, they're beautiful and they're fascinating. There's also things like hand done ledger sheets and things like that. Again, one is just more beautiful than the other, and they've been hand done. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, there was quite a little stir on some of the channels that I watch on YouTube, because the original Winnie the Pooh, now we're not talking Disney, we're talking the way back original, those images were old enough that they fell, I'm going to make this a little smaller, they fell into public domain. And so people were grabbing them up. And I mean, I can grab them up, you can grab them up. It's not, like a one and done. But they take them to places like Redbubble or Teesprings. And these are places that you upload your images, and then you can make t-shirts or things like pillows, little zipper purses, all kinds of things. Now, if it's your own original art, then it's your original art to do with what you want. And you own the originals. So if anyone tries to copy from you, you can, at least write a cease and desist order that they stop using your materials that you own. But with these public domain things, they're owned just as much by me as they are by you. And there's some beautiful art that is out there. recognizable art that is in public domain and nobody can take claim to it. And when it is purely public domain, it is for anyone to use, and it's for anyone to use for whatever they want, commercial or otherwise. So for you to take these images so that you can make money, yeah, you're within your rights. So, yep, fascinating. I've got more reading to do, and I've got to find reliable sources. I don't want to upload something that is going to harm my computer. I don't know that I'm smart enough. I know that I'm not smart enough to clean up a mess if I would do something like that. So anyway, so let me know if you've done anything. Maybe you have a little print-on-demand business. I would love to go visit it. And maybe you have a YouTube channel and you have merch that you've done this with. Again, let me know, because I would love to visit and see, because, you know, supporting fellow artists is one of the things that is important to me. So I would love to take a look. There are YouTube people that have been in YouTube long enough that they qualify to even have like a shelf of their shop right there on their YouTube page, which is cool. I'm not big enough, or I'm not ready to do that. So, but sometime, and that's why I'm looking at it now, so that when the time comes up that I can do it, I want to be ready, or as ready as I know how to be. So I'm just gluing these on with my Oohoo glue stick, and I'm doing it in what I call the neutrals, which is book page of different kinds. And I like it because although this is cardstock, I wouldn't call it the most robust cardstock I've ever experienced. And so how would this do? Okay. So this just gives it another layer of strength. I have put things like this on cardboard, food packaging and stuff. So if you go to my playlists on my channel, you'll see, and I'll put one at the end so that you can click on one where I talk more about or do more of this type of thing. I always appreciate that when other YouTubers do that, especially if they're like, okay, I'm only showing you this because I've got 3 videos that show the first step. I get that, and I appreciate it. They can't just have the same video over and over and over. So, you know, they have kind of part 1 and a part 2. Sometimes it's just where they have a YouTube playlist, and they've got it listed like, you know, beginner this, beginner that. So you can kind of find what you're looking for. It's helpful, I think. And so this is still my very first Oohoo stick. I mean, I bought a bunch, but so far I like it. You know, they come highly recommended. I used a different brand for an awfully long time, but the last couple times that I used it, it just was so goopy, and I hadn't had that experience before. But when I had, you know, several in a row like that, and, you know, I don't buy these things 1 and 2 at a time. I did try another glue stick that came highly recommended. It just seemed like it was a little too dry for me. But maybe if you live in a super humid climate, maybe the glue sticks that are a little bit stickier, wetter, maybe they take too long to dry. And I can understand that. You know, we all have to just pick what works for us. There's no one size fits all, particularly in art. Aren't we glad? It's what makes it so fascinating and interesting, doesn't it? I think so. So I've got overlapping going on, and I really don't mind. I know there are some people that when they do this part of putting in a background, it's all pretty much squares and rectangles and everything just fits all perfect. I like the randomness, even though I'm not doing a diagonal line. I do like the randomness of shapes, and I just think it adds more, I don't know, just more texture, more something interesting to look at. But I find these other artist stuff very interesting to look at. So it's just what's in my mind, you know. It's okay. So how are things in your neck of the woods? Are you doing some crafting? I hope so. I spent yesterday, it's not crafting, but it's part of the process, doing things like looking up fair trade or what is considered public domain versus copyright free versus copyright with a license. Sometimes, I guess I'm backtracking, but sometimes these things, even though it says they're free, they've got little things like it's free for you to use, but always credit the artist, and you know, so you got to read to just see what does that all mean. Sometimes it's free for you to use, but don't reproduce. It's free for you to use, but don't sell. So you know, you just have to read. But that's the kind of thing I was doing. I did some magazine harvesting this morning. I found a really nice group of magazines that were at my Friends of the Library little store. My library doesn't have a specific day that they have book sales. They just have a room that you can go in and you can just shop in there anytime you want. And all the prices are there. I mean, it's pretty much like anything that has a library tag on it, meaning it was in circulation at the library, is a dime. All the magazines are a dime. And then the children's books that were donated, they're 50 cents. I mean, it's very affordable. But I really, really like that as a source for getting magazines. You know, magazines are, you know, $6, $7, sometimes more than that. I just saw a little empty spot. So to buy a magazine for a dime, and there's articles that I read before I completely harvest them, and some of them are literally only a few weeks old. No kidding. Okay, so this, I missed the edge here, and I don't want that. I don't want that white space. It looks to me like it's just a little bigger than I could disguise with some inking of the edge. So I'd rather cover it up and trim it than have that edge. And I think the rest of my edges look pretty good. Okay, so we've got this all covered up. And you know, I feel the dampness. When I touch it, it's not room temperature. It feels cool. So that's all fine. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move this aside, but not too far away, because we may get to work on the second one. Who knows? And I'm just going to, can you hear that crunching? I've got some papers under my feet. They're the papers that I use to set things on to dry. So it's like crispy wax paper. All right, let's get this trimmed up. So are you working in an art journal? Maybe you're in a swap group and maybe you're doing some swaps. I'd love to hear what you swap. I mean, there's all kinds. It's not just paper art. It's all kinds of things that people swap. So, you know, take a look. Sometimes groups swap the materials, you know, that you use. And in the paper arts, I've been involved in swaps like that myself. So, okay. All right. What's the next step on this? Well, I pulled some stamps out. Not too many, but I wanted to be able to just put some random stamps, but with enough of a stamped area that it will show and not just be lost or just kind of be like noise. Do you know, I want it to show up. Now this flower still may want to get lost. So I'm going to do it with my aquamarine. And this is the Ranger archival, what is it called? Let me see. Acid-free permanent waterproof archival ink. Yeah, archival. And the reason why I want that is because I am going to use watery things on top of it, and I don't want it to run if it can be avoided. I want to put these flowers on in several designs, and you know me, I forget the corners, I forget the edges, everything ends up right in the middle, and I am trying to avoid that. Now, we don't have to have all the same in all the corners and all the edges, but a little bit of a variety, don't you think? I think these look good. I think they're showing up enough that they don't just look like noise or interference or mistakes, which, you know, let's face it. I go ahead, I'm just going to wipe this off. I go ahead and put coffee stains and ink blobs and all kinds of things on my work. So not to say that I wouldn't. Okay, I'm going to switch gears. I've got another pad. This is another archival, and it's the Tim Holtz colors, but it's the distress colors, but this is not distress ink. Distress ink will move. This won't. I'm going to start with Vintage Photo. We go. These are coming out much crisper. Sometimes they come out so, I don't know, blurry. And I wonder if it's because at one point maybe it was too soon after I had refreshed the ink, you know, used a re-inker to refresh the ink in the pad. And then maybe it was like a little too juicy. Couple more. Good, good, good. Maybe I'll just do a shadowy one. Yeah, that's nice. Let's do one more. And then a shadowy. Well, that one came out shadowy anyway. Okay. All right, enough of that. And then I got, this is a postal cancellation one. Let's put that one on. I know that one and the flower. Oh, I'm putting it on the wrong way. The flower, the fleur-de-lis, and this one are all Tim Holtz that I got, and I'm using black soot this time. I got them at Tuesday morning on clearance, again, more than 5 years ago. So I doubt they're available. I'm sure they're retired. The good thing about a lot of his stamps, though, is that they still often like work with each other. Like if you have a flower and you've got another set of stamps that's stems and leaves, the sizes will match up so that you can use it even though maybe one of the sets was retired. That happens a lot. Well, to me a lot. It feels like a lot with his stamps, and I really like that. Because again, you know, I buy everything on sale, on clearance, I buy it used, garage sales, and things like rummage sales and thrift stores, and I just like all that kind of stuff. Okay, put a couple more. I'm trying to remember the edges. Did I get something in all four corners? I believe so. It made me nervous when I just said that, like I need to make sure that I did that. This is a edgy one, and then maybe I'm just gonna put this one in here for a faint one. Maybe another faint one. I don't know if it'll come out, but we'll give it a go. Came out enough. All right. So I'm done with that. Now I got some words here. And like one of the words that I like that's on this one is yay. Here it is. So I think I'm going to put that on here. Again, I got this at Tuesday morning and I can't tell you anything about it anymore. Used to. All right, let's see. I'm going to turn this around. So I was using Black Soot and Vintage Photo. I've got Hickory Smoke and Ground Espresso. So I'm going to start with the Ground Espresso and see what I get with that. Uh-huh. Looking good. Put some in a different direction. What do you think? Coming along? Turn it around one more time. I think it's looking good. Tell me in the comments what you think. Too busy? I don't think so. But you could be right. I think the words that I picked out, the font is heavy enough that I don't feel like the words are just lost. So that's good. All right, let's put yay away. Let's bring it over here. I don't know if you can read any of that, but there's yay. Now there's you did it, for you, congrats, make a wish. How about treat? That's kind of a cool word, right? If you say it in front of some dogs, they go nuts, right? All right, let's get treat on here. And I'm going to use Hickory Smoke. Now, this is the very first time I'm using this one. So if it doesn't completely come out, no surprise. Especially these clear ones, they don't always come out. See, like the second one came out way better than the first. That's kind of normal. For this application, I really don't mind. But if you're making a card front or something, yeah, you may want to give it a couple of stamp offs before you put it on your good cardstock or whatever you're using. I know this can look, oh, I went in the wrong one, doesn't matter. I know this can look awfully busy, but I promise you, when you cut them out, there's many times that you're like, where did all my designs go? Seriously, I've had that happen many times. So I haven't experienced where once I cut them out, they're too busy. Turn it around one more time. Maybe this way. Hickory Smoke. Trying to remember which one I said I was going to use. One more. And then I'll stamp one off. Okay, very good. Now, I think I had it originally this way just because all the fleur-de-lis are going this way, which may be a mistake, but that's okay. That's okay. We're having fun. All right. Set this aside. And close up the inks. All right. This is looking good to me. I think it's time to hit it with a little bit of spray. I'm going to get a paper towel. I think first I'm going to get a couple paper towels here. And I'm going to do some dripping. Let's see if we can get some dripping on here. So I used the tea leaf before, so I think I'm going to use that again. Now I hope you'll be able to see. I'm going to try to make it so that you can see. Yeah, I doubt you can see anything with that. All right, here we go. Bam, 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 bam. I want to do it somewhat fast because I want it not to just soak in. See? Good. I'm trying to be generous. I can drip this way too. Why not? Alrighty. A little more. Can you see that dripping? Drip it this way. There we go. Yeah. A little bit more. Try not to waste it if I can. Okay. That looks good. We don't need too much drippage. Now I'm going to hit it with some spray. And then what I'm going to do, and I could even use the same paper towel, is I'm going to spray and then give it a quick rub. I'm going to even blot up some of this. Yeah, good. We'll still probably have to hit this with the dryer before we go on to our next step, but that's okay. All right, this one is the vintage photo, and I don't put it like, that's it, couple of sprays, and then I just give it a rub. Sometimes I spray it right on the paper towel because I would rather not spray up my whole table right now. But it does give you a little different of a look. And all this rubbing, you're gonna, any little edges that you didn't have down, they're gonna show up. And that's all right. Oh boy. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm getting the table. Oh well. It does clean off easy. It's just, I feel like it might be distracting when you're trying to watch a video. I'm not sure. All right, that looks like enough brown to me. And I'm going to go ahead with the, I know I pulled out a blue. Here it is. And this is the tumbled glass one. This is a fainter color. But I think it's pretty. And then those cut edges, you know, the edges that we tore, some of those really absorb it. So you get, you know, a variety of looks. I just got it on the table again. I don't know why I think I'm not going to get it on the table. Just be glad you don't get it on the curtains, huh? On the kitchen table. Oh, there we go. Dear. Dear, dear, dear. Okay, how are we doing? What do you think? Does that do anything for you? I see the blue. I see the, sounds like romper room. I see the vintage photo. I see the stamping. So I feel like, you know, we haven't obliterated anything. Let's get that on there. Is it the only one I see? Might be. Yeah, it's the only one I see. So more will show up as we work on this some more. Okay, so the next step, there we go. I knew I couldn't have been that fortunate. Oh, go with the right side, Julie. Get some of that on there. All right, so I am going to hit this with my heat gun, and then I'm going to grab my trimmer. So the editing has been going pretty well, so I will see you in just a couple of seconds. Okay, I'm back. I also took the time to grab a couple of these doilies, and I dried them, and one of them still had two, so I've just brought that, I've got that up with, and we'll just see how or if we want to use those. All right, so now I need to do bookmarks, and I need to do some artist trading cards. So what I was going to do is, and you know, I do not have the best trimmer, but it's what I have, and we're going to use it. So I'd like to have 7 inches for my bookmarks. I think that's a nice space, and that will leave me 5 inches for the artist trading cards. Let's see. Maybe I could even go 8, and that'll leave me 4 inches, and for the 2.5 by 3.5, that might be even a better way to go. We'll go with that. All right, wish me luck. Ready, set, go. Well, okay. Now, this is 12. I think 2 inches, because 3 inches just seems too bulky in a book. Yeah, I like 2 inches when I'm making, here's where my trimmer wants to fall apart. Okay, 2 inches. See? Isn't that nice? All right, so we'll do 2 inches again. Two inches again. So these are 2 by 8. And they're not done, but I think they're a beautiful start, don't you? 2 inches. Whoop. Okay. All right. And now artist trading cards are 2.5 by 3.5. So let's get this to the 3.5. And now we need to do 2.5. Now you can easily just cut these with scissors. I am really not good at cutting straight lines with scissors. This type of trimmer, I wouldn't say it's excellent, but it is better than my hand cutting. But on my wish list of things, once my channel gets going just a little bit more, I am going to get a better printer or better cutter. Here's a little spare piece. I'll show you what we'll do with that later. But that part's done. Yay. Let's set this aside and pull up a chair. Okay. Now, are you still with me? Those of you who are, I'm so glad you're here. I do not see us getting all of these done. Now, I had this spare one. I've been saving up spare ones, and that's what I do. I just save them up, and then I'll just do kind of, these are what I call offcuts. I'll just do a mass make at another time. And look, all of this, and that's my only offcut. So that worked out good. I had not worked the math out ahead of time, but I hope I can remember that. I'm just going to take my corner rounder, and I'm going to round up the corners on this spare piece, because to tell you the truth, it just makes them look a little bit more like, yeah, I want to finish that. So, mind over matter kind of a thing for me, I guess. But a corner rounder, if you only buy one punch, I recommend a corner rounder. Look at how messy my desk is. That's all right. So maybe we'll try to do maybe 3. We might not even get 3 done, but I'll set those 3 aside. And then maybe 2 of these. How does that sound? And then we can see how we are for time. All right, so I've got some ephemera that I've been working on. Maybe, can I show you? I don't see it in reach, but we did the acrylic painting on magazines and then cut them out. So I've been working on stuff like that, and I have a nice selection of some new ones that I thought would be fun to add to these. Like maybe like this. Wouldn't that be pretty? Maybe just one. I kind of like these round ones. I think they look kind of cool. Let's get a 3rd round one. Okay, let's go with that. I did not have that in mind ahead of time. I'm going to ink them. I sure am. So I just grabbed a little cosmetic sponge and my ink, and I'm going to go around, and I could, really the choices is up to me. A lot of times it's vintage photo. All right, let's go with hickory smoke. What do you say? And we're just going to do these still need their corners rounded, and if I feel like they need ink after that, I will go ahead and do it. So, but here we go. I really don't want to round the corners until they're done. So, all right, hickory smoke. I'm just going around the edge. I'm not really trying to put like a frame this way, just on the edge, because it makes them stand out and it takes away the other random colors, which is usually white on the edge. So I just think it kind of gives them a finished look more, instead of like, I don't know, something you just punched out of a magazine. Yeah, I like these. Okay, that's a good start. And before I glue them down, I remember I said I did some magazine harvesting. So I did all these words, and I just thought these would be fun to have clever sayings, like out of the box. I like that. All right, get my scissors. And I think I'll cut it at out and of the and box. All right, let's get these on here. I think I'll put him just a little kind of up into one side. Getting a little cramped for space. And let's start gluing. And I find glue stick is just fine for this. All right, a little up into the corner here. Makes it nice and flat. All right, and now let's get the out. Put it on the blue. Out. Oop, got crooked on me. Okay, out of the And how do I know that this would be an applicable saying for someone? I don't. But at some point it probably will be. Okay, my fingers are depositing ink on there. It's not a big problem, but I am going to grab a wet wipe and see if I can calm that down a little bit, because I'd really rather not have it happen when I don't expect it. So, I mean, you can just see the blackness, not so much on that hand, but on this hand, which getting your fingers dirty is just part of the joy. And let's dry them off here and back at it. Here we go. Out of the box. Oh, slippery. Okay, I like that. I'm going to grab, I think, I'm deciding between white or black. I'm going to start with white. I'm going to grab a white gel pen and get it started. I don't know how it's going to react to the, oh yeah, it's writing. Now the white gel pen shows up more once it's dry. So don't be discouraged, at least with my kind, and it's a Jelly Roll by Sakura. And I'm not doing it all neat. I'm just having fun with it. Okay, out of the box. And then maybe like one of these little taggy things. Too big. Let's look at this one. They're littler, but they still might be a little big. Let's look at the last box. Another circle. No. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. All right, let's just let this one dry. You can always think on it. All right. And this one, maybe I'll put more towards the middle. I love the colors in this one. I really do. And then let's glue this one down more at the bottom. So we got one kind of in the middle, one in the upper left, and one in the lower right. And this would make a nice set of 3, in my opinion. Okay. Now, how about some more sayings? Lighten up. That, I think you probably should know the person. It's time to celebrate. It could go this way. I'm going to put it in a maybe pile. I don't want the yays because we've already got that on here. Here's some of the smaller ones. Go with the flow. That might be cool if I had a little picture to go with it. I've got these little tickets. That might be fun to do with that. I think they need cutting. I thought I left some scissors out. I did. Okay, I'm liking that. So we'll go with the flow. Get it glued on. And I just harvest these from magazines. And then I'm going to put this little butterfly ticket. I think it's really cute. Oh my. That made the glue stick really blob. I need to be more gentle. Again, it's not the fault of the tag, it's me. Let's get it a little straight, and then let's get ourselves a little piece of paper towel. And wipe off the excess glue. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Maybe a little one of these guys on this one. This is cool. Now, this is a sticker. So I threw some pins in here so that I could get the backs off easier because, oh man, these are hard to get apart. Okay. And I'm going to put this sideways like that. All right, I like it. I really do. All right, what can we do? Let's try this time. I'm going to use a Sharpie. I want to get that pin back in the stickers. Yep. Uh-oh. Probably got into some glue. I'm just scribbling around the outside. All right. I like that one. Let's set it aside, and we've got one more. Now, let's see. Now, again, this says Dear Grandma, but on your mark. That could be cool, but not for this. Ham it up. If I had something here, make a first impression. I like that. Let's get a butterfly ticket here. Put it on this side this time and try not to goop it up too much with glue, huh? All right, let's get these. I like this. Make a first impression. Yeah. It's just kind of like, maybe a little inspirational, or like something you would hear in one of those, what do you call those? Like where they try to elevate your mood. Those conferences that you go to, your company will send them to you. Tell me in the comments, what are those called? But it's like to encourage you, and they give you a lot of those little catchphrases and ways that you can prevent burnout, or how to inspire your staff, and just all that kind of stuff. Sometimes life coaches sort of like to do that. What is that called? Make a first impression, to me, fits right in that vein. All right, and another sticker. Let's see. This one is a triangle. I don't mind that. Grab a pin again. Hopefully it'll work just as well as the first time we did it. That used to be like my last go-to, but now it's my first go-to. Just put that right there. I like that. That's, you know, it's kind of clear, so it's like, do I see it? Do I not see it? I do. I like that. Okay, I think I'm going to go again with the black, but did I ruin this one? Nah, I don't think so. At least not today. And it's not like I'm using a big heavy black one like for the garage sale signs, because this is just sketchy, so it doesn't show up quite as much, and I think that's a good thing for this. You almost have to be holding it before you'd see it. Do I like that? All right. Okay. Get the ink. Get the corner rounder. And I think we've made a nice set of 3. What do you think? I do not send anything out in a swap that I wouldn't be happy to get myself, or that I wouldn't set up in my living room like a greeting card. You know what I mean? If it's not up to snuff, hey, stick it in an art journal and take a lesson from it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So we've got out of the box, go with the flow, first impression. I like all 3 of them. I'm just going to get the ink opened up and ink up the edges now using the black soot. This one I already started, so I'm just going to catch the edges here, the corners. Yep. This one. All right, one more. Isn't this fun? I hope you're having fun. I love it. And you know, you can make these holiday style and they become your to from tags. So nice. If you're giving books away for a gift, to tuck a homemade bookmark, I think is just fabulous. Let's get rid of some of this. All right. Can we see these? Do I have enough clear space that you can see these 3? I think they look great. A little raising up. I can tack that down later. And the backs look nice. Okay, those 3 done. Maybe we'll work on just one bookmark. What do you say? Sure. Okay. I'm going to grab some of this doily because I just thought that might look awfully pretty on this. Yeah. All right, I'm going to tear this down. Now, doily is not handy to glue with a glue stick. I got a little much. Is there one place I like better than the other? I like it down here better because this is blue. So the brown on top of the blue. Do I like it though? Let's see. I've got one. Now this one has a few little, see, that's just too stark. Too stark. This one, what about that? There we go. I like this better. I'm just gonna grab where it's, and this was where one doily was sitting on top of the other, so that's why it didn't completely get it. Yeah, let's put that down here, and I just kind of have to guess where it's gonna go. But I do find that this glue stick does dry matte, so it doesn't show up a lot. Yeah, I didn't quite get it far enough. There we go. All right, I like that. I really do. Get it all down. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Now, what about some of these? Maybe a circle and a, let's see. The circles barely fit, but what can be cool about that is just cut it. And then have this one like that. And then maybe one here. And I might just glue this one right off the edge. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's get these on. Whoops. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. I am feeling the pressure of time because I can just tell we've been here together enough. And those of you who have stuck with me, yay, thank you so much. When I pull up an hour video or something, I tend to watch it all. I may not watch it all in one sitting, but I do tend to watch it all. Maybe this way? Maybe this way? Maybe this way? This way? Oh dear. I think I'm just going to stick it up at the top like that. Trim it up. Uh-oh. Here we go. Even if I don't get that glue lid screwed on, I like to get it on there because when the furnace kicks on, oh boy, does everything dry fast. And it's cold. It was a very rainy, we had rain like all day yesterday. It was supposed to snow overnight. I don't think it did, or if it did, it completely melted away. What about this guy here? I don't know. It's starting to look too much like a circus to me. What do you think? All right. Now, how about some words? Let's get away. You know, when you're reading a book, isn't that kind of what you're doing? Is kind of on a little bit of a getaway? I think we'll keep it. And see, now I saved this one because it was big. Time to celebrate. I like that too. Yeah. And then I could put this, yay. Let's do that. All right. Good idea. Thanks, you guys. It's time to celebrate. Well, for heaven's sakes. Still not laying down. What's up with this? Well, I'm not going to play with that anymore. Get the boss out. Here we go. Yay. Now, let's get some art glitter glue here. I don't know why this doesn't want to stick here, but we're going to make it stick. There we go. Okay. Now, couple of little maybe stickers from the little guys that we have. What does this say? It's got the word Christians, but that's the only thing that I can read. The rest of it is not English. I don't mind that there. Let's grab a pen. Every time this works, it's like a miracle to me because I don't know how I get it in just the right spot that it'll work. Okay, I like that. I like that red frame. And then maybe a round one. Round and blue. I think it goes this way. Is it too much? Maybe up here a little bit. I like that better. All right. Let's crack this open. You know, if you allow yourself to just think and audition, it can make you nuts. And then you end up not coming back. Do you know what I mean? You need to just go with it, you know. It's not that bad. So just go with it. Okay. Now, let's round the corners on this guy. Glue stick, let's not dry it up completely. Oh, for goodness sakes. And that did not cut nice. There we go. Hey, what's up with these? Okay, that's good. All right, and now, little ink around the edge. I'm kind of thinking about using the blue. What do you think? We can always put black or brown on top of it if we don't like it. But there's blue here. There's blue down here. I'm just kind of liking it. So I just cut the tip of that off. Oh yeah, I like this. I think it's good. And all the inks that we've used, except the spray inks and those dribbling ones, they're all archival. If they don't get their bookmarks or their artist trading cards wet, they will be fine. And I've used this type of thing before on bookmarks, and you can close it up in your book and it does not come off on your book, which is, you know, good to know. All right, I'm seeing a little bit, yep, of that circle. Okay, now, can we take one last look at what we did? I think so. So we've got our bookmark, and we've got an artist trading card, and an artist trading card, and an artist trading card. All right, I hope you found this helpful, educational, maybe inspirational. Let me know in the comments if you're involved in any swaps, or maybe you would like to invite me into a swap. Just let me know. I'd be happy to swap. So in the meantime, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It helps so much and I need it so badly. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Bye.